In this video we'll have a look at reviewing what we did in lesson 3. So to get started, this spreadsheet called displaying formulas will be in the learning management system, so you can download that and open this up. Now if you remember, we were able to look at how to copy relative information. So January, February, March, for example, if I wanted to copy this, I could simply grab the corner and drag it across. Sales would work in a similar fashion. You can see there by just simply dropping and dragging. We looked at how to calculate a formula and a function. So if I was to calculate this using a formula, I would say something like B4 plus B5 plus B6, and I can usually type those in or click on them. If by accident that I went and I said, okay, I wanted to go B6 plus B7 plus B5 and B4, and I made a mistake and I added a label, the computer will come up with a little red or green tick, which means that there's an inconsistency with the formula. In this case, it comes up and says it's a value, which just means that there's something that's it's trying to add up not just values, but there's also a label in there as well. And you can see there that it's February. We can simply go in here and make an edit and correct that. We also learned that we can grab data and copy it across. And we looked at how to do automatic formulas. So for example, I want to sum this up. I can use the auto sum feature by simply just clicking it and pressing enter. And if I click again, press enter. If I click again, it's going to assume the top, but what we're going to do is highlight what we want, correct that problem. And again, if I click on auto sum here, this actually would be a correct result because I'm summing up basically the total of all the sales. I could also use this range right here. In fact, I even have a third option. I could even highlight this range right here. All three of those will give me the same result. Alright, so if we were going to do this using with logical operators or mathematical operators, just to review that in Excel, operators use the add, the subtract, and multiply uses the star key, which is above the 8 on most keyboards, and the / key, which is usually beside the right shift key, which is used for divided by. So those are the logical operator or the mathematical operators that you need to use. We looked at how to calculate average. Now we could type it out manually, or we could do the auto and click on average, and it'll automatically assume the whole range. So we want to make sure that we've only selected the 3 we want. And again, we can grab that and drag it across. We could do the same thing for count, which would tell us how many particular sales that we're counting. It's a very small example, 3, so it wouldn't be that practical, but let's do it anyway here. So count the numbers, and I'm going to select those 3 right there. Now if I want to have a look at the relative and absolute copying, for example, let's say we wanted to put some kind of a tax amount or markup or something like that. I want to create a formula that's based on my sales multiplied by my absolute reference, which is 10%. I want that to be an absolute, so I'm going to press the function key F4 at the very top of your keyboard, and it creates the $E $2. The $sign represents the absolute value, and press enter. Now that I've done that, I should be able to copy that down with no problem, and it works. If I want to create a link to another workbook, I simply have to select where I want that particular link to occur, press the equal key, and then go across, and I'm just going to select the word linking on a different sheet here. So I've got another workbook here called linking. I click it once to select it, one more time to select the cell, and you can see here it's going to take the actual file called link xlsx, and it's going to take the sheet 2 or sheet 1, and it's going to take the absolute cell A7. So that's a fairly brief review of lesson 3. If you need to review any of those, go back and rewatch the videos, and we'll see you in lesson 4.